There is a 5-gallon bucket sitting in the corner of my barn right now, and last week it caught 9 rats while I slept. Not one trap reset by hand, not one drop of store-bought poison, just a bucket, a scrap of wood, and a spoonful of peanut butter that cost me almost nothing. My name is Elias Yoder. I am Amish. I keep 11 hives of honeybees on this farm, and I will tell you plain, I cannot have poison scattered around a place where my bees are working and my grandchildren are running barefoot in the summer. So we have had to learn the old ways of dealing with rats, the ways my grandfather used in this same barn, long before any man in a white truck came around offering a monthly contract. Here is what I am going to do for you today. I am going to walk you through 5 different rat killers the old-timers swore by, the same ones you will find folks arguing about online. And then, I am going to tell you the part that should make you a little angry. 4 of these 5 are mostly a waste of your time and your money, and the man who sells rat control for a living already knows it. Only one of them truly works, and it costs about $4 to build. By the end of this, you will know exactly which one to set up this weekend and which 4 to leave alone. Stay with me. Now, before I number these off, here is what most folks get wrong about a rat. They think a rat is a stupid animal. It is not. A rat is one of the cleverest creatures that ever walked onto a farm. It learns. It watches. When one rat dies in a strange new thing in the corner, the others take note, and they will not go near it for days. The English, and forgive me, that is just what we call folks outside our community. No disrespect in it. The English want a quick spray, a quick poison, a quick magic ball they can toss in the corner and forget. We do not think that way. We think about how the animal behaves, and we work with that. That is the whole game right there. Understand the rat, and the method almost picks itself. So let us count them down. I am saving the best for last on purpose. Number 5 on the list, and the weakest of the bunch, is peppermint oil. You have seen this one everywhere. Soak some cotton balls in peppermint oil, tuck them where the rats run, and they will flee the smell. And I will be honest with you, there is a grain of truth in it. A rat lives by its nose far more than its eyes, and a strong, sharp smell does bother it. There was even a review back in 2010 that found peppermint and a few other oils can repel rodents in a closed, controlled room. But here is the trouble, and I want you to hear me. That is a controlled room. Your barn is not a controlled room. The smell of peppermint fades in a few days, and a rat that is hungry enough will walk right past it to get to your grain. Worse than that, a rat gets used to a smell. Give it a week, and that minty cloud is just part of the furniture to him. So peppermint oil is not a rat killer at all. It is a mild, short-lived nudge, and a hungry rat ignores a nudge. If you already have rats in the barn, this will not clear them out. Save your oil for keeping your kitchen smelling nice. Number 4 is baking soda mixed with peanut butter. Now this one sounds clever. The idea is that the rat eats the peanut butter, swallows the baking soda along with it, and the soda reacts in its belly and finishes it off. Folks roll it into little balls the size of a grape and set them out. I have tried this one myself more than once, and I will tell you what happens most times. The rat eats around it or eats the whole thing and walks away just fine. The science behind it is shaky, and the dose a rat would need is far more than it will ever willingly eat in one sitting. So you end up doing the one thing you never want to do with a rat. You feed it a nice peanut butter snack and teach it that your barn is a good place to find supper. It is not a killer. It is a free meal. Leave it be. Number 3 is the famous plaster of Paris and cornmeal mix. This is the one the old-timers talked about most, and the one you will see argued about the hardest. You mix dry plaster of Paris with cornmeal to draw the rat in, sometimes a little sugar or cocoa to sweeten it. The rat eats it, then goes and drinks water, and the plaster is supposed to harden inside him and block him up. Here is my honest word on it, and this is the kind of honesty the man selling poison will never give you. Sometimes it works, often it does not. I have read accounts from good, careful farmers who mixed pounds of the stuff into the feed and watched the rats grow fat on it, no harm done at all. The plaster has to stay perfectly dry to keep its bite, and the moment it picks up a little damp in your barn, it hardens into a useless lump the rat will not touch. So at best it is a coin flip, and a coin flip is not good enough when you have rats in the grain. I will not tell you it never works, because that would not be true, but I will tell you I do not rely on it, and neither should you. Number 2 is the plain snap trap. Now we are getting somewhere honest. The old wooden snap trap, the kind my father kept a dozen of hanging on a nail in the workshop, is a genuine rat killer. It is quick, it is cheap, and when it goes off, it does the job clean. There is no poison to worry the bees or the dog or the little ones. I respect the snap trap, and I still use them. But a snap trap has 2 real limits, and I will give them to you straight. First, a snap trap built for a mouse will not kill a full-grown barn rat, so you must buy the larger rat-sized ones and set them with care, because they can snap a careless finger hard. Second, and this is the bigger trouble, a snap trap catches 1 rat, and then it is done until you come reset it. 1 trap, 1 rat, and now it sits there sprung and empty, while the other rats learn to step around it. If you have a real rat problem, not 1 rat, but a family of them, you will be out there resetting traps morning and night and falling behind the whole time. It works. It just does not work fast enough on its own. Which brings me to number 1, the only one on this whole list I will stake my name on, the bucket trap. Forgive me, the bucket trap. This is the method my grandfather used, and his father before him, and it is the one sitting in my barn catching rats while I sleep. I will tell you exactly how to build it, because it is so simple it almost feels like cheating. You take a 5-gallon bucket, any old one will do. Near the top you run a thin metal rod or a stiff wire straight through from one side to the other, like an axle. Onto that rod you slide something that spins. An empty soda can works, or a length of pipe, anything round that turns freely when a rat steps on it. You smear a little peanut butter right in the middle of that spinning can, where the rat has to reach for it. Then you lean a flat scrap of wood up against the side of the bucket like a ramp, so the rat has a path to climb. Here is what happens. The rat smells the peanut butter, climbs the ramp, and steps out onto the can to reach his meal. The can spins under his feet, and down he goes into the bucket. And here is the part that makes this the king of all the methods. The trap resets itself, the can stops spinning, the peanut butter is still there, and it is ready for the next rat, and the next, and the next. One careful night, and you can wake to find half a dozen or more in the bottom. Now I owe you an honest word here too, the way I would give it to a neighbor, over the fence. There is a version of this trap where folks put water in the bottom to drown the rat. I do not do it that way, and I will tell you why plain. It is a hard, slow end for the animal, and I was not raised to be cruel even to a pest. I keep mine dry, with a little sawdust in the bottom so the rats cannot leap back out, and I deal with them in the morning. A dry bucket catches just as well. You lose nothing by being decent about it. And let me be honest about the catch too, because you will hear wild claims online. No, 1 bucket will not clear out a barn overcome with rats in a single night. On a bad infestation, you may want 2 or 3 buckets going at once, set along the walls where the rats run, because a rat hugs a wall and almost never crosses open ground. But for a few dollars in peanut butter and a bucket you already own, nothing else on this list comes close. Nothing. Now let me say a quick word to those of you watching who like to try these things and report back. I read every one of these comments, every single one, and I have learned a great deal from folks trying these old methods in their own barns and garages and telling me what happened. So if you build that bucket trap this weekend, come back and tell me how many you caught the first night. There is a whole community of us doing this work the old way, and we learn from each other. One ask, that is all. Let me know how you do. Ow. Now, before we close, I want to set this whole thing in its proper place, because it is bigger than rats. Ask yourself why you have never heard of the bucket trap when it is the cheapest and the best of all 5. The answer is not a mystery, and it is not some grand secret buried by anybody. It is just money, plain as day. There is no money in a man building a $4 bucket trap from a bucket he already owns. There is a great deal of money in a monthly poison contract, and in a shelf full of little plastic bait stations, and in a fellow in a white truck coming around your property every 30 days with an invoice. Nobody is going to put up a billboard for a spinning can and a scrap of wood. So the cheapest thing and the best thing is the thing you were never told about. That is not a conspiracy. That is just the way of it. The good cheap fixes do not have anybody paid to sell them. And I will say one more honest thing. Since we are speaking of rats, folks worry about rats and sickness, and there is reason to. A rat can carry illness into a home, and that is a real part of why I never let them get a foothold in my barn near where my food is stored. But I want to be careful and plain with you. I am not telling you that a bucket trap will keep any illness away from your door, and I would never tell you such a thing. A trap catches rats. That is all it does. Keeping a clean barn and a tight grain bin does far more than any single trap ever could. The bucket is one good tool, not a shield against the world. So this weekend, here is what I want you to do. Skip the peppermint oil. Skip the baking soda balls. Skip the plaster of Paris coin flip. If you have just 1 or 2 rats, set out a few of the larger snap traps and stay on top of them. But if you have a real problem, build the bucket trap. A 5-gallon bucket you already have, a rod or stiff wire across the top, a can or a bit of pipe to spin, a scrap of wood for a ramp, and a spoonful of peanut butter in the middle. Keep it dry, put a handful of sawdust in the bottom, set it along a wall where the rats run, and let it work while you sleep. $4, give or take, and most of that is the peanut butter. Picture next Saturday. You walk out to the barn in the cool of the morning, and instead of chewed grain sacks and droppings on the workbench, you find a bucket that did its quiet work all night long, your grain untouched, your dog and your little ones and your honeybees never once near a drop of poison. That is what the old way gives you. A clean barn and a clear conscience, both at once. The folks in my community already know this works. We have known it for generations. I am sharing it for the folks outside our community who were never told, who have been paying good money for poison that the rats learned to dodge anyway. Next time, I want to show you a thing my grandmother did at dusk, a single ordinary item from the pantry that she set on the porch rail every evening of the summer and which kept the flies off the table all through supper. Most folks have it in their cupboard right now and have no idea what it can do. The people who built this country with their hands knew things we are only just starting to remember. Take care of your barn, and it will take care of you.